Tracy Reineck, Zacks stock strategist, and today I'm taking a deeper dive into two of the hottest names on the street who are reporting earnings this week, Microsoft and Alphabet. Now, everybody's going to be watching these, but what should you be watching for? Are the analysts raising or lowering estimates into these reports? If they are, you want to know about it. So let's take a look at all the earnings information you can find out there on Zacks.com on both of these companies. There's a lot of good data that we can look at to kind of get a judge on what might be happening this earnings season. So let's take a look. So I wanted to kind of show where you can get all this information without just putting the charts up there. So this is Zacks.com homepage. And if I want to start with Microsoft, you can just put in the ticker up here in the right-hand corner. And then you're going to go to, obviously, the quote page. Now, this is where it gets a little more dubious. Let's get rid of this ad down here because it looks like a lot of information, right? So what do I want to look at first? I want to look and see how many times they beat or missed on earnings because I'm caring about earnings. So all this information over here on the left is where you really want to focus if you're looking for charts or earnings information. So under the charts, I want to look and see if they beat or missed. So I'm going to use this price and EPS surprise link. And this is going to take me back over to this great chart. Now, those of you who follow me on StockTwits or Twitter know that this one is the one I tweet out all the time throughout earnings season because it's telling you whether or not they beat or missed. Now, all these green arrows means they met or beat. And the longer the green arrows, the bigger the beat. So, for instance, this one way down here, it was a 38% surprise. If you hover over the arrows, you can actually see. These ones a little bit smaller because the smaller green arrow. But this is a tremendous earnings surprise track record. They haven't missed in 5 years. They are an earnings all-star. This includes, obviously, the pandemic, quarters. So this is incredible. Not many companies can meet or beat every quarter for 5 years. It's pretty rare. So already off the top, we know that Microsoft has this great track record, but just because you beat in the past doesn't mean you are going to in the future. So then I want to check out the detailed estimates up here on the left-hand side, because this side is going to tell me what the analysts are doing right now. So looking down, you have to kind of scroll down, get rid of these ads again, and see this under the earnings estimates. This is what I want, and agreement earnings estimates revisions, this part. So we are in this current quarter right here, and you can see all these zeros. Well, nobody's done anything. So for the last 60 days, no revisions. But you can see over here for the year, one analyst is getting a little more bullish. Now, Microsoft is on the opposite year, the fiscal year. It ends in the middle of the summer, so this will be their second quarter report. So you can see that it's got one analyst still more bullish here. They're expected to grow earnings, you can see here, for the year by 8.5%. And if you scroll up a little bit, you can see sales estimates up here, and revenue expected to be up 13% for the year, but pretty hot for this quarter at 18%. So this one is not telling us much. The analysts are kind of sticking with their guns here, which is over here $2.06 for the quarter. So I like to look at this page. It tells you kind of what's going on with the analysts, whether or not they're bullish or bearish. And remember, the analysts don't like to raise going into the number unless they have very good information that they are, things are more bullish than what they are even seeing, because they don't like to get it wrong. So that's why I like to look and see what's happening in the near term on those analyst estimates. Now, another chart I'd like to look at is the price and consensus chart, because this puts into the chart what we were just looking at. And this is Microsoft's 5-year, and you can see just the steady, consistent earnings growth And this is what you want to see still with a mega cap like this. This is pretty unusual to still see this level of growth with a company that's this big and this old. You know, they've been around 40 years now, or give or take. So this is impressive as well. Shares at those all-time highs. So that's Microsoft. But what does Google or / Alphabet, as they're now called, look like? So I will do the same thing. I look at, I use the GOOGL ticker. We come over here. I want to see what is their track record like. Does it look like Microsoft's? And so I go to that earnings surprise chart, and it's good too, but not quite as good. So they used to miss almost every quarter back in the day. And you can actually go back and see. So, you know, a couple of years ago, this is a 5-year, but see back over here, it starts to get more dubious. 2014, 2015, these were not good years. Miss. But nobody cared because it was Alphabet. And they didn't seem to care either. But then things kind of turned around for them, and they have been beating more. And then on the return of travel and those travel advertising during the pandemic, you can see these huge beats here. If I scroll over onto the arrow, 40%. This one is 67%, and then last quarter, 37%. This has propelled the shares up to new highs, and now they've taken a little bit of a break, waiting to see if Google can actually do this again. But can they? What are the analysts thinking? Are the analysts bullish or bearish? So we went to that detailed estimate page, and I'm scrolling down to see, okay, so we have a little bit different here in this quarter. One analyst did get more bullish in the last month, but that's it. And so we don't really know anything more. Nobody's bearish because we don't see any down revisions, but everybody's kind of sticking with their guns because we're still in this kind of uncertainty with the pandemic still ongoing. So they're expected to see 23.13 here, and it's kind of holding steady, as I said, and 101.87 here for this year. And then next year, this is interesting. The analysts aren't really seeing any earnings growth at all into 2022. Not yet, but it's a little bit early. And you only see this 6% gain for that year. So this 73% year-over-year growth estimate really tells you what has happened. But we've seen this off of the lows of last year, that companies are turning it around, including Google. They only made 58.61 last year. And then here's the consensus for this year, 101.87. So this is interesting to watch. What does their price and consensus look like? We're going to switch it over, and it's going to be a little bit different because here in 2022 now, only 6% earnings growth. And they haven't been as consistent across the board. You see the big dip in 2020 as those travel ads got hammered, and they do make a lot of money off that. So you had the decline there, but we have seen this big recovery off of the coronavirus lows and just the coronavirus slowdown in 2020. So will this be changing? This is a key earnings report for both of these companies, but especially for Alphabet. So I own both of these stocks in my own personal portfolio, and I'm sure many of you do too. And I'm going to be covering all the hot stocks all week long in these deep dive videos to see what the analysts are saying, what their track records look like, and what you should be looking out for. So you want to be sure to subscribe at Zacks.com/YouTube. And if you're interested in everything else that's going on Zacks.com, all of our features and kind of tools you can use, you can get a lot of those at Zacks.com/promo. Go over there and check out everything we have on Zacks.com because there's a lot of great information. I'll see you again next time with some more earnings charts.